Hi everyone, welcome back. Today at DBT we were revisiting the mindfulness module, which at the beginning I thought we did sort of the full 7 weeks of mindfulness in one go. Well, it turns out you kind of do 2-3 weeks of that, then a module of something else, and then you go back to the mindfulness, and that's to make sure everyone's fully understanding it, because mindfulness kind of underpins the whole of DBT. So we were just refreshing, what does mindfulness mean? And it's not when you see other people talk about mindfulness, it's all about, let's be zen, let's be calm. But it doesn't actually mean that. It just means kind of being, aware of what's happening and not being overcome by distractions. And there's two different sets of skills. There's the what skills and the how skills. So the what skills, and these need to be done in order and separate from each other. So the first one is to observe. So you can observe what is happening, you can observe how you're feeling, and then when you're observing, say, your emotions, each emotion has signature features. So you might observe, that you're feeling hot, or you observe that you're feeling tense. You observe, you feel your shoulders coming up, and then the next step there is you can describe. So that description for that emotion will be, I'm angry. But to practice mindfulness, say if you're observing what's in the room, you could go, oh, there's say for example, I'll say, here's a pink folder. But to so there's this, the observation is I can see the folder. The description is it's a pink folder. But to be more mindful, you could say it is it's an arch lever folder. It has some pen marks on it. It looks like it could be new because there's no scuff marks on it. Not just saying the first thing you see, but really being aware of that. If you say you go into a new situation, you might be in a room full of people that you haven't been in before. You might you say just say, there's some people over there, or the room's crowded, or the room's empty. It's just trying to sort of, when you come to describing it, it's about kind of being factual. So you might say, there's 8 people here. The 8 people are sitting around that table. That table's next to the window, and just going into as much detail as you can. And the third what skill is to participate, and that's about kind of joining in what you need to in this situation. So for example, you might be you sort of enter the I don't really know how to explain it, but how can I explain it? So you might be entering a room because it's some training or something at work, and the participating, it's just about participating in the situation. It's not just sitting back and letting things pass you by. You participate in the conversation, you participate in listening and all different things, and the thing with mindfulness, as I said, a lot of people think it's just about meditating, it's about being zen, but it's about being able to kind of be in the moment and not be distracted in all kinds of situations. So it might be in like a busy situation, and it's about like not being distracted. I don't feel I'm explaining this very well. That's what I was going to say as well. Like when you are observing, describing and participating, it's kind of about, this is where the how skills come in. So when you are doing it, it's about not being judgmental about it. So if we go back to the example, if you're entering a room where you're not going to be doing some training, it's instead of going, there's a group of people over there and they're all sitting there all together, so I'm going to be left out, or they're probably sitting in a group because they don't want me to be in it. If you observe and describe it without being judgmental, you can just say, there's some people sitting in a group there. It's, you're not judging that because you don't know the facts. You don't know. You might walk over there and they'll all budge up and let you in. And how to do it effectively, it was how to be mindful effectively. It's about keeping what you need to be doing as the main thing that you're thinking about. So for example, if you're meant to be at work, it's about focusing on doing your work and not letting other distractions take over. It's like if you're having a conversation with your friend, making sure you're having that conversation, you're being part of it. You're not like they might be telling you something and you're not sitting there going, oh no, what have you tea? Did I pay that bill? Being effective, it's about kind of like staying in, it's about doing what you're meant to be doing. So for example, if you're at the gym and your job for that 10 minutes is to be on the cross trainer, it's about being on the cross trainer and doing what you need to do. It's not, you're not there saying, oh, I wonder if I look fat, I wonder if everyone's looking at me, or I wonder what speed they're doing. It's just about kind of focusing on your task. And the one mindfully, it brings all that together. It's about being aware of what you are doing, and hang on, I'm going to just check, see if there's anything else. So being effectively, it's being mindful of your goals. So if we go back to sort of being at the gym, and your goal is to do 10 minutes on the cross trainer, it's not beating yourself up that you're not doing half an hour. It's not sort of giving up after 30 seconds. It's about remembering what your goal is and just doing what you can to that goal. And also, kind of sticking to your morals. So, if you're being mindful and one of your, say if you go back to the example where if you're going into a room full of people you don't know, if one of your morals is, to be, it's to be like, sort of polite to other people, it's about, if someone's someone says hello to you, or if you need something, just sticking to your morals, being polite to other people, let people be polite to you. And also to do something effectively is, working into the best of your ability about what's most appropriate for you. And sometimes, oh God, sorry if this is not making sense. So to do something effectively as well, because mindfulness doesn't always have to be a nice, enjoyable thing. It's about making sure you're doing what you need to do, not necessarily what you want to do. So, for example, if you're this is what I've done. This is what I've done in the past. Say when I've had a job, and I've actually decided, sort of being at home's what I want to do, because I don't like the job or it makes me feel anxious. What I want to do is to not go to the job, but sometimes what you need to do is still to go, because you've still got your bills, mortgage, whatever to pay for. So the mindfulness is not all about like the Zen life. It's not all about we'll just sit in silence and do a nice little activity. It's about learning how to manage your thoughts and bring those thoughts into what you need. I'm apologising if this doesn't make sense, because I could have done. I probably should have made different examples instead of rambling off on one. But it was just kind of going over these skills and how to use them in like different situations. So like a difficult situation, it can be a variety of, it can be like something like these skills can be used in either like small situations or big situations, and it's also recognising that like any thoughts or emotions that do come into your mind, they don't necessarily have to be acted upon. So on previous videos, like I've sort of said how I do get like suicidal thoughts. So now when I get these, to be more mindful, to observe it, I might be like, I've had this thought of committing suicide. That's come into my head. So that's the observation. And what you can't do is you can't fight those thoughts, because when you fight them and go, I don't want to think that, you then kind of waste energy on that, and then you end up feeling guilty about that, and then you still have like quite draining emotions coming with that. So what I'll now do is the thought of suicide's coming to my head. I've observed that, I know it's there, and to describe that I might say, look, this thought's come, it's telling me that I should self-harm, it is telling me I should cut myself, it is telling me that nobody loves me, etc. I won't go into all of them. Now the participate is to acknowledge that they are there, but the participation is then telling myself, just because that emotional thought is there, I don't have to actually act on it. The participating here is me saying, yes, this is a thought, but no, I don't have to deal with it. So the non-judgment, I'm not saying, so the non-judgment is neither being positive or negative as that this thought is not positive or negative, it is just a thought. I'm not saying, oh yeah, that's a really good idea, I should go do it. But I'm also saying, oh, that's an awful idea, why were you so stupid for thinking that? How dare you think that? It's about not being judgmental about it. But then if you do judge it, also not judging that you're judging. You know, if a judgmental... No. If you start judging, if you do start judging, I feel like you need to go kind of back to that, you know, an observation and going, oh, I was quite judgmental about that. And then sort of begin that process again. The effectiveness when I am thinking about what kind of values I want. Well, my values are that I don't want to self-harm anymore. I don't want to do harmful things to my body anymore. So, to be mindful, I'll be like, actually that goes against what I want now. And it's about recognising where you are in your ability. You know, if I start going, oh, I wish I didn't think this, I wish I didn't think that, oh, I shouldn't be thinking this, that again, it's being judgmental, and it's not being fair on yourself to want to have skills you don't have yet. And to be like mindfulness, the one mindfully house skill on this is asking yourself, well, why do I think that I want to, you know, self-harm at the moment? And then if I go, oh, it's because you know, things are very stressful at the moment, it's giving yourself time to be stressed and to be sad. Or, you know, it's kind of, you know, not beating yourself up for it, but because with mindfulness, you know, it comes in a variety of different emotions, and you can't be one emotion all of the time. So, most of the time, like, you know, when I do want to self-harm, it'll be, you know, because I'm very stressed about something, or I've been like really sad about something. So, when these thoughts come, like the mindfulness, it's about allowing myself to be sad. But, you know, even if you are sad, it doesn't mean you have to act upon the thought. But yeah, it's the overview kind of how mindfulness works. I might not have explained it very well, but it's just learning that kind of process, and that can be used like in all different situations. As I say, say if you're having some training at work, the observation might be, I'm on a course that is booked at 2:00. I have a tickling feeling in my stomach, like I feel like I've got butterflies. So the description there is, it could be, I am going to learn how to do, spreadsheets in Excel. The training is with 5 other people. It is with a trainer that I've never met before. I am feeling anxious. I feel weary of meeting new people. The participation is, you do turn up to the training. You don't phone up and go, oh, I'm too busy, I'm ill, I can't make it that day. The participation is you go to it. the non-judgmental bit might be, as I say, I'm going to go to the train, I'm going to see what it's like. If you find yourself going, oh god, this train, it's probably going to be boring. Oh, the train will think I'm thick. The other people will probably get it more, will probably understand it better than I am. That's being judgmental. Even if you don't think, because like judgmentals, they don't have to be nasty. They're just based on assumptions. So sometimes, you might be judgmental even if you don't think you are. Sort of how to be effective with this is, remembering you're there to learn something new. So, you're telling yourself that you might not understand it at first, but just because you don't understand it doesn't mean you're thick. You have the skills that you've got at that time. And for the one mindfulness, it's sort of concentrate on the training there and then. When the trainer's presenting, you're making sure you're listening. And if you find yourself sort of like drifting off, going, oh, I bet everyone else is getting this. Oh, what shall I have for tea tonight? And kind of bringing yourself back into that moment. I hope that makes sense. And because I just want people to be aware. Being mindfulness, it's not all about meditating. It's not all about I don't know, sort of doing yoga or sitting in silence, or those can be good tools to practice it, but sort of being mindful, it's kind of, it needs to be in all your day-to-day activities. I hope that makes sense, and thank you very much.